All right, we are back. I think this is episode number 55. That's a good number.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for helping me being a guest, helping me get to that number because every story is it's a part of my journey and it's a part of your journey and then all the listeners. So it's super cool whenever I have a
Yeah.
new guest. So episode 55, Adventures in Adversity. If you have not heard this podcast before, essentially we feature real people, true stories, and daily inspiration with the goal of helping ourselves really turn life's adversity into adventure. Simply stated, right?
I like it.
We all have a lot coming at us, whether it's mental, physical, whatever age we're at. So why not talk about it? We were talking about before and see what we can come up with.
What can we, let's just keep talking because
Let's
I think
just
that
keep talking.
It's healing.
It's healing. And so with that, I would like to introduce my next guest, Raquel Riggle. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And you are the founder of menopalz.com, right?
Yes, actually it's Menopalz,
Menopalz.
Menopalz. You know, I had to throw a spin on that.
Menopalz.com.
Yes.
Congratulations on founding that as well.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. It's been a labor of love.
So you are a menopause coach.
Yes.
And you have been through, and obviously you founded this company. I'm going to let you talk all about it. But you have been through some adversity in your life leading up to this.
Yes, leading up to this has been kind of the journey. In 2020, I started just kind of getting really swollen ankles. And before that, I wasn't able to lose any weight. I would say probably the years before that would be like the first 3 years before 2020 was when I started really noticing like weight was coming on. No matter what I did, no matter what I ate, I could not lose the weight. And I was just like, oh, I guess I'm just destined to be overweight. I don't know.
Yeah.
And at my largest, I was like 220 pounds. And that just was not ever been like for my size, who I am.
Yeah.
So I just kind of went with it and didn't really notice anything different, just kind of felt off, but just not knowing why. And then in 2020, the pandemic hit, we were stuck at home, kids were at home, everything just felt really crazy. And I ended up turning kind of yellow. And I was like, this doesn't really seem right. And then my eyes were yellow. And I thought, oh my God, that's jaundice. And in my mind, it was like, oh my gosh, I have jaundice. And I didn't really put two and two together. You don't think, you think of jaundice as a baby, when your baby's.
Yes. That's immediately
you take
what
them to the doctor, they give them a little light and then they're totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I was saying things like, I'm going to lay out in the sun.
Well, yeah, I would do that. I'd be like, yeah, you need some light or something. Yeah.
Totally.
I can
So
fix
I
this.
was laying out in the sun and meanwhile, my eyes are getting more yellow. And so I just felt so off and my ankles were humongous. They were just so swollen.
Yeah. And how old were you at this time?
At that time, let's see, I was 45.
Okay.
Yeah. So that, I had told my husband.
44, so I'm right there. Yes. So, okay. Yes.
So I told my husband, I said, I think I need to be seen. I had never really been a doctor person. And I thought, well, I'm just going to, go in and just see what they have to say. So I took myself to ER because at that point I was just like, I feel like crap. My eyes are yellow, my skin's yellow, my ankles they're the size of an elephant. So they have to have answers.
Something.
Yeah. I went in and they're like, oh, you're coding. Okay, cool. I don't, still have no idea what this means at this point.
What does that mean? Yeah.
Yeah. And so they were like, you're coding. We need to take you upstairs. We're going to admit you. They wanted to drain my body because they thought I had ascites, which let me kind of back up. Basically, I had gone into acute liver failure. And so I did not realize I was in acute liver failure at the time. And so they thought I had ascites, which is kind of a liver bile buildup in your stomach. And they were like, that's why you can't lose weight, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I think I need another opinion. I don't want to just have somebody draining things out of me. So they admitted me and I was like, okay, all right, well, they're going to just do what they got to do, I guess. I was in there for 7 days and they threw steroids at me. They had blown my veins in my arm, taking blood so many times, and they were like, "Well, we don't know. We're just gonna go ahead and send you home. You're gonna have a, you're gonna send you home to a GI, and that'll be your follow-up." And I was like, "Well, what is going on? I don't understand." And they were
Yeah.
like, "You're an alcoholic." What? You go to the doctor because you're sick, not to be dismissed or judged. So when they asked me the question, "Do you drink?" At the time, I drank, not a lot, but we were in the middle of COVID and a lockdown. I was home with 3 babies. I was having a few extra drinks. Nothing that I thought or that should have been anything that would put me into acute liver
Sure.
failure. But
Sure.
what it turns out is I have celiac disease. And so because of celiac, which is an autoimmune disease,
Yep.
they did not catch that and it continued to eat away at my liver. And so I went home after 7 days and I became grossly ill, just grossly ill. And then I was terrified to go back to the hospital because of what they had just put me through.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so wound up, I was vomiting morning, noon, night, all hours of the night. There was no rhyme or reason. I had absolutely no answers. I had gone to the GI like they had suggested. And when I went to the GI, he had given me like 3 or 4 different medications. And the medications one was $3,000 a month. I mean, it was intense.
And you don't even know what's going on, but you're
I
trying to
still have no
treat it. Yeah.
answers. They're just calling me an alcoholic, and I swear I had one doctor come when I was in the hospital. She looked at me and she was like, "How could you do this to yourself?" I said, "What did I do? I don't even know what's wrong. You don't even know what's wrong with me. How can you say these things to
Yeah.
me?" So I went through and I mean, I dropped over 80 pounds in less than 3 months. I mean, I was just ill. I got to the point where I had no muscle at all. No
Yeah.
muscle. I couldn't get in my husband's truck. My kids had to put a step stool in so that I could try to get into the vehicle. I mean, my muscles had basically atrophied because I could only lay in bed. And I mean, this
Yeah.
went on for months. And I finally had a day where I didn't feel too bad. At this point, I was kind of living on just bone broth because I couldn't really keep anything else down. I had a kind of a day where I was feeling like I could kind of sit up and kind of function. And a friend of mine had texted me because she was just so worried. She kept, if it wasn't for her and her bone broth, I probably wouldn't be living right now.
She was just, what can I do? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So she had texted me and she came over and we called UC. Well, we called the hospital in California, which was hands down the best decision I ever made. So I went to a hepatologist because I thought my was failing me.
Sure.
This
Sure.
whole time I had no idea I had any autoimmune disease whatsoever. Nobody even tested me for this. So I went to the hepatologist and the hepatologist was like, "I think you have more than this, whatever they're saying going on."
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to look into autoimmune. And I knew my family was predisposed for that because my sister has and my brother have psoriatic arthritis. I don't know if I'm saying that.
Okay.
Psoriatic
Okay.
arthritis.
Yeah. Can you explain for anyone that might be listening what
Yeah.
autoimmune means, an autoimmune disease?
Disease is basically your immune system is working against you.
It's attacking yourself,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's based on a lot of inflammation. And, anytime that your body's in an inflamed state, it basically is telling you we're trying
S
to heal. If
Something
you
is
get
it's
cut,
actively trying something's going on there. It's inflamed.
precisely.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you get a cut, you know how it kind of gets a little puffy the next
Yeah.
few days? That's what's happening on the inside of your body at all times when you're inflamed. So I had lived in such an inflamed state for so many years. By the
Yeah.
time I got to this point, I was just done for. So I get to Davis and he looks me over and he's like, "Okay, come back and we're gonna have you come in and do an upper GI," which is so they put me out and they put a tube down my throat. And they did like a biopsy of my intestines, which is kind of the
Yeah.
gold standard of figuring out if you have celiac or not.
Got it.
And so it turned out I did. So the doctor called and he was like, "It's just a very slow recovery." And I was like, "Okay, but I could do this. I can get out from gluten." But at this
Yeah.
time, I was basically 100, maybe 108 pounds. I mean, I was so thin. All my hair had fallen out of my head. I
Oh.
lost my eyebrows.
Oh gosh. And
I
and
couldn't move.
mentally. So
Mentally, I was a
mentally, that's
mess.
the physical and like people probably if people haven't been through physical challenges like that, there's a whole mental side,
Yeah, yeah. I
right?
I spent those months laying in bed researching liver failure,
Yeah.
why things like this happen, like what is cirrhosis, what are the causing factors, because you hear cirrhosis and you think that's the end, you're just like, "Oh my god, what in the heck is going on?"
Yeah.
I was writing goodbye letters to my children. I mean, because I thought, I don't know if I'm going to make it. My husband was
Yeah.
walking by and he's putting his hands on me and making sure that I'm just breathing. And I just remember him in the mornings just kind of pacing by the bed. You're just kind of delirious when that sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he would be just pacing. And I'm like, why? What's going on?
Yeah.
I started selling my things on Facebook because I didn't want my family to have to deal with them after I had passed, because I was just convinced that
You were
this was it. And so to hear celiac, I actually at the time I didn't even register what that meant.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's celiac, but not understanding anywhere in that gluten is in absolutely everything you touch. Shampoo, chapstick, lotion, I
Products.
mean, everything.
I
I
didn't know
mean,
that gluten was in products.
it's in everything.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible if you
Okay.
really dig into it. So
Good to know.
we started, I started the gluten-free path. Okay, I'm gonna just be gluten-free for the rest of my life. That's great. And I did start to see small improvements, but nowhere in there did somebody say, "Hey, you're 45. This could be something associated with menopause." Where? So fast forward, I don't know, about a year and a half, I'm starting to put minimal weight on, minimal.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
people think being thin is fun. I'm here to tell you it is not. Not when you're that thin, because it is so uncomfortable. You're freezing all the time. I was basically
Um,
a house plant just stuck on my front
just
porch with 12 shirts on in the sun.
you were just cold all the time, huh?
It messes with everything. My blood was super thin, so I would just bleed for no reason. I mean, this was just a crazy,
Yeah.
wild ride.
Yeah.
This is where menopause was born from, because I don't
Mm.
want someone else to have to go through what I went through in order to realize what the heck they
What's
have going on.
wow. You've really felt the pain of that. I
Yeah.
can see if you can do something to well, and now I wanna hear all about this. It's coming from a place of really understanding how hard it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and to not be heard, by doctors. I think it's just this medical gaslighting that we're getting,
Oh.
especially as women. Just
Mm.
I mean, how dare that woman look at me and say I was an alcoholic? I was stuck at home with three
Yeah.
kids. I had a few extra glasses of wine. That does
No,
not make me an alcoholic.
right. People make all kinds of assumptions and, like, whatever role you're in, whether you're a doctor, a teacher, whoever, it doesn't actually even
Yeah.
matter. Um, you actually don't know what's going on just based on what you're seeing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I fast forward about a year and a
Yeah.
half into my healing, and I went to the gynecologist, because at that time, then my period started getting just when
It's
they
just
finally came back. Because I was once you
up
lose so much weight, they kind of go away. So
yeah.
as I started to gain weight back, they came back, but they came back with vengeance, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is
It's
going on? So
yeah.
I go to the doctor, because at this I mean, I was already anemic from being so thin and so like deteriorated from everything else I had
Yeah.
gone through. I go to the gynecologist, and she's like, "Oh, let's just give you an ablation." Okay.
And yeah.
And an ablation, yeah, sorry. An
No, I
ablation
maybe I've
is
had one, I don't know. So bad,
I
but
think you'd
it's
know.
true.
I
I'm like, "Whatever I'm
promise.
up for, go ahead." I don't know.
Yes.
So bad.
Oh my god. I swear to God, you could be my friend.
Okay, we're friends. We're friends now.
Yeah, so the ablation is where they go in and they basically cauterize your uterus to
Okay.
stop or slow down periods.
I have not done that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Got it.
totally, you would know. So I'm like
Oh.
signing up to do this ablation, because I'm thinking, well,
'Cause you
shoot,
it's like
yeah.
it's flows in town times 100.
Oh my gosh, yeah, times 100, to the point where you couldn't even leave the house. I mean, you were gonna bleed through. I mean, as a woman, you know what that means.
It's I
Yeah,
can't be
yeah.
anywhere right now. Yeah.
Not gonna no, and then you're miserable, the whole thing. So, I go in, they test everything, they pull the samples, like, everything's good, I'm getting ready to go for it, and the gynecologist was arrested for prostitution right before my procedure. I kid you not. I kid you not. I can't even make these things up.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see that one coming. Okay, so you didn't go then
I
because
did
he
not go through with the
because he
ablation.
was in
I
jail.
quit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I quit going there immediately. And then I thought, I'm throwing in the towel, I'm over it.
I'm not doing
I'm just
anything.
gonna like ride it out.
Maybe this is a sign, I don't know. Wow, okay. You couldn't
Yes.
catch a break.
No, no, it was a hard mess, hot mess. So yeah, the prostitution sting rounded him up and rid
Mm,
that of my life. So then I just kind of went on about it. And, about a year and a half later, after that, I was in Florida at a friend's house, and I was just feeling off. You just kind of have those weird
yeah,
anxiety moments. And I didn't
sure.
really struggle with hot flashes per se, but just the culmination of didn't feel like myself. And then I had a panic attack at her house. And I've never in my entire life experienced a panic attack. I mean, I
Mm,
jumped up out of the seat and I ran down the hallway, and I was just like I was
y
freaking out. It was so intense. I
yeah,
have no explanation for this whatsoever. And I just hugged my friend, and I was just like, and I was there for a week, and I couldn't even leave the bed. I was just so anxiety ridden and so freaked out, and I don't really even have any words to describe it. It was just I knew, like, if I left, I had a hard time. I could barely even fly home. I could barely even get
there's
myself
that.
to fly home. Yeah. I was just like, I'm
It's
just
like,
gonna stay here in this bed.
were you worried about bad things happening, or was it just anxiety? It was just
Anxiety, and I don't even have any real
it's hard to describe,
explanation. Yeah,
yeah,
because I knew,
yeah.
I mean, my logical mind knew I was safe, I was not
Sure.
anywhere that was gonna be damaging or hurt me, but it just was all I can explain now is my hormones were completely flipped upside down, and I was completely dysregulated, and my central nervous system was, "Forget it, you're out of here."
It's a nervous system, a chemical it was a
Ye
mal-overload. It had had
Yes.
enough. Whatever was
Yes.
going on wasn't
Yep, yep.
balanced.
100%, and
That
I'm
must have
really
been
pissed off
scary.
I'm
Must have
really
been
mad
scary though,
about.
because that panic, I've had panic attacks, and it's a scary place to be when you're in it,
Yes. Yes.
you know?
And I couldn't get out of that space. I mean, my husband was
Ugh,
there, and he was going, and they were doing all the vacation things, and just leave me here. Just leave
I
me
just
here.
need to yeah, you
Yeah.
just yeah,
I was
okay.
so hyperstimulated, and I was really
Yeah,
mad. I'm mad at that gynecologist because I feel like somebody should have said something. Maybe this is not something that you need an ablation for, you know?
yeah.
So I
Nobody's having those conversations, huh?
Not one
Not
time.
one.
Not
Not
one. I
one.
mean, nobody. So then when I got back to I live in Reno,
Yeah,
Nevada. So when I got back to Reno, I called my primary and I made an appointment, and I was like, "Okay, I need to figure out what's going on." To which they were just like, "I don't know, maybe your thyroid medicine is off," because the one thing that the gynecologist did give me was thyroid medication. They're like,
okay,
"Well,
yep,
it'll help you."
sure.
Oh, okay. I guess so. So to me, I think getting the thyroid medication as I look back may have kind of held off some of my symptoms,
Sure.
but it obviously reached a point where it just kind of tipped.
System overload almost, right?
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
like your body almost was ringing the alarm or something. Everything's
Exactly.
off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I get
It's not a fun way to realize that, you know?
no, no.
Gosh.
Please,
No, but you're
nobody
tough.
needs
You
to go
got
through
through
that.
it. You got through it though,
I
you know?
spent a year, basically last year was just this up and down, up and down, up and down. So when I
Oh,
got back, I contacted my primary, and they kind of were like, "Well, we don't know." And
yeah.
they kept trying to give me a generic brand of my thyroid medication, and I said to the doctor, I said, "I have to have Synthroid, which is the name brand for thyroid medication. It's the quote unquote gold standard for it." I said, "Because I have celiac, and I can't verify through the pharmacy, and I called the manufacturer, and they can't verify
Gluten.
that there's no gluten in it with the
Oh my
fillers."
gosh.
The doctor looks me in the face and says, "Your body will adjust." I got up and walked out.
Yeah, no. No. I did not adjust when I was really sick. Yeah.
No,
No.
like, I'm
It's
just
a
a hair back
gaslighting.
guy.
Medical gas what you're
Yes,
saying. They're not always right, right?
that yeah, right, and their belief system shouldn't be my problem. What goes in my body shouldn't
Right.
be what they get to dictate, I don't feel sometimes.
Yeah.
So, I just walked out because I was really frustrated. So I spent a couple of months trying to figure out how to get Synthroid without having to go and get on generics and go through their hoops with
Yeah.
insurance and stuff like that. And I was lucky enough, I went directly to the manufacturer and they offered a program. So
Oh, good.
the doctor said, I'll prescribe it, but you have to pay for it out of pocket. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, bud. So I was able to find that. But fast forward a little bit further, I called my gynecologist who was online
Yeah.
and she is with Wish Health and she's amazing. She focuses just in perimenopause, menopause, and
Okay.
postmenopause, which is kind of the root cause and things of that nature. And
Yep.
so for me, we discussed HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy.
Okay.
And hormone replacement therapy comes in a couple of ways. For me, I opted for the patch, which is my estrogen,
Okay.
and then I have a pill, which is progesterone. So if you don't have a uterus, a lot of times, and ask your doctor, of course, but a lot of
Yeah.
times you won't need progesterone if you've had an early hysterectomy or things of that
Sure.
nature.
Okay. Yep.
But because I did not have a hysterectomy, I still needed the progesterone. So we started on that and I saw some slight improvement, but I had so much brain fog and I was still in such pandemonium in my head that I couldn't remember the conversation that I had with the doctor. And so when I got off the phone and I went to the pharmacy, I knew I had to do that much. I picked up my medication and I looked at it and I because I couldn't remember, I thought the pharmacy messed up and I just sat there in my car crying and crying. It was
Because
a
you
hot
just,
mess. Yeah, I was convinced they messed it up, and here I am, and I'm screwed. I'm gonna have to go through this conversation with this lady again.
yeah.
I called my friend, the one that was making me the bone broth. She's a lifesaver. I had to read my doctor's notes, and I'm bawling. Can't make heads or tails. I can't think straight. I can't figure out what's going on in my own life. And she's like, "Read me the notes." My husband's helping me figure out where to put this patch. I mean, it was just such a crazy scenario. But I physically couldn't do it. And I'm a strong, independent woman. I've been a
Yeah.
realtor. I worked at a bank. I mean, I've raised 4 children. I
You're
never
used to
encountered this.
getting things done.
Yes.
Yeah.
And having control. And I had none,
Mm.
none.
So that like panic attack, the sickness and the panic attack alerted you to like all of these things were happening. And for anyone who doesn't maybe is new to understanding what menopause is and what perimenopause is, can you tell
Yes.
me really quick, sort of define those things and then to give that context a little bit? And then I want to like continue in your journey.
Oh, yeah, yeah, of course. It's the hormonal roller coaster, if you will.
Okay.
Estrogen and progesterone spike, and then they
Yes.
crash, and predictably, it lasts 4 to 10 years.
Wow. Okay. So
Yay for
for 4 to
women!
10 years, your hormones are cray
Yes,
cray.
girl. 4 to 10 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So I'm there. I'm there now. I'm I think I'm perimenopause because I sweat
but
every night.
you have
Yeah.
your hair. You look great.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Only because, but I'm putting all the serums in to get it back, you know?
Yeah.
And then I like the bed is drenched in sweat. My kids are like, "Ew." I'm like, "I'm sorry.
No, no.
Sorry. I think I'm in perimenopause. I don't know." So, okay. You were saying
Yes,
4
no,
to
you're
10
good.
years of roller
Up and
coaster.
down, just all over the place. Menopause itself is just one day.
It's when you go ahead,
Yeah,
define
it's
it.
the anniversary of your last period after 12 months. That's
Then
one
you are
day
in,
after that. That
and
is
then you're just,
menopause. And
yep.
every day after that, you're in postmenopause.
Menopause
Isn't
is
that
one
wild?
day.
One friggin'
Okay,
day.
that's crazy. Perimenopause is all the time until it's been 12 months since your last period. Then it's
Yes,
menopause. And then the
correct.
day after it's postmenopause.
Yes. So one day we live in menopause and the rest is post.
And the rest of the time we get periods that we have to deal with. Then, God, we just don't get a break.
I know. And you think that they're going to go away and, they do for a little bit. And then I didn't have one for about 6 months. Oh,
Yes.
I'm
Then you
close. I'm
think,
going to even out. No, it came back with a
and it comes,
vengeance.
totally, totally.
No, never going to catch a break.
Hey, that, I guarantee you, people listening, they just learned something.
I hope
Perimenopause,
so.
menopause one day, postmenopause. Got it.
And I hope so because people always think, oh, I'm not in menopause or I'm not struggling with it. I don't have night sweats. I'm not
I'm
anxiety
not.
ridden.
You
There's
are.
there's over 54 things, over 54 symptoms that could go wrong with a woman's body, over 54 that
Oh, I want to
we
hear those.
know of that can go wrong with a woman's body. Because our entire body is built on estrogen. Every one of our systems
Oh,
is built on, cardiovascular, digestion, sleep disruption, itchy, crawly skin, electric shock sensations, joint and muscle pain. It exasperates autoimmune to the nth.
my gosh. That explains it then.
Huh?
So what
Uh-huh.
happened to you? Menopause made it your autoimmune.
My
Oh my gosh.
estrogen was just tanking, and so because estrogen it helps with it's an anti-inflammatory. As it was declining, my body was getting
Ugh.
more and more and more inflamed. So I probably started perimenopause, I would say around 40, if I had to
Wow.
actually pinpoint that. And I had no idea because nobody has these conversations.
That is, and the conversations change everything because then you can
Everything.
treat it earlier.
Yes. And you can even if it's not something I have, because every woman's body is different,
Yeah.
it's something that they can think about and talk to their doctor about and have an honest, unjudged conversation. I mean, the amount of judgment that came and shame, the
Oh, that's
shame.
awful. That's awful.
I still think my records say I'm an alcoholic. I haven't drank in 3 years. Well, no,
It
5 years. What the hell am I talking about? It's been 2020. So yeah, intense, just super wild.
it has to be a place where you can really be vulnerable because it's life and death here. If you feel shamed, you're not gonna say things, or
Right.
you're just gonna be
Yeah.
like, or if you're gaslight, "Oh, I guess they went to," I don't know, but you know what you're feeling, you know?
And when I went in initially, I was super honest, but you're correct. I quit saying anything because anytime I opened my mouth, I thought they were going to judge me. They were
Yeah.
going to
Oh,
say,
yeah.
oh, this or oh, that. And I didn't want to have that shame, because I knew I
Shame.
wasn't doing anything wrong.
But from everything, and again, I remember my mom going through menopause, and I remember her having hot flashes. I don't think she had any resources. Gosh, she navigated it well, I think, but what do I know? I don't know. She could have that was but now it seems like all my friends and I were like, there's a movement of what is
Yeah.
going on? And are we
Mm.
gonna get some help with this? Or
Yeah.
can we talk about it?
Yeah.
It's the whole
Yeah.
thing.
That's a whole thing. And there's also non-hormonal ways that you can go about addressing it,
Okay.
because there are people that have had breast cancer, or they're, predisposed for breast
Sure.
cancer with different genes and things like that. There are other ways to manage it. So it doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily have to be through HRT. But
Okay.
for me, that seems to be the
It
best.
helped.
Yeah, it did help. It's really important to me in my mind to speak with somebody that is versed in actual menopause and perimenopause, because a lot of doctors, and you'll hear some of the professionals say,
Yeah.
you only get a couple of hours of the training on menopause, like, and after that we don't get anything else. It's all of
Couple of
these other a
yeah.
couple of hours.
Women's healthcare hasn't really been high on the list,
No,
but,
no.
we just keep popping the babies out.
Yes. Yeah.
Just
As
let us
long
know
yeah,
when you have some time, right?
all the research is in reproductive health. If you look at it, there's a couple bucks thrown at menopause. Oh, you're
Yeah,
out to pasture. I mean,
'cause
in the 50s, they used to,
seriously,
in
we're
the
still
50s,
here. We're still here,
guys
guys.
would take their wives and they would say, commit her to the institution, and they would trade up
My gosh, because they were
because they would lose their mind a little bit. And it
it
sucks, but that's the
that
reality of the
because
situation.
nobody was talking. Not
Nobody was
talking about
talking.
it makes the
Yep.
shame even
Yep.
worse.
And then
Yeah.
they did a whole study on HRT back in the 80s, and all of the data was incorrect. So everybody that was on HRT was, I can't remember specifically, and I'd have to look it up on that study, but it's something to do with, they just determined that it caused breast cancer. So every woman was like, I'm not touching it. I don't want to go on HRT. So this went on until just recently. They've just recently have come out with new studies saying it
It
does not cause HRT is
is
not the cause of cancer if you
yeah,
are administering it properly, if you're doing the things that you need to be
yeah,
doing and
sure.
checking. And so, can you imagine how many women have suffered? I know my mom in particular has suffered. Her bladder has fallen out. She's had 2 heart attacks because all of these systems are based off of estrogen. And when you take the estrogen away, you're
Mm.
up a creek.
So that's the critical if anyone were to understand, if anyone's first time ever hearing about menopause and they're like, "Oh, okay, so you stop periods and then what's the big deal?" It's the estrogen drop.
It's the
It
estrogen
affects
drop.
all the systems,
Yes, yes.
and
Uh-huh.
all the systems affect everything about you.
Everything about you. I hear so many women talk about, "Oh, I can't lose any weight and I'm miserable and blah blah blah." That's a symptom of menopause. That's a symptom of your estrogen being unregulated. And so
Mm,
the belly fat is called visceral fat. And the
okay.
visceral fat is what kind of wraps around your organs. And so that's when it becomes
Yeah.
dangerous. That's how women go into cardiac arrest, and that's how they end up with all of these organ damage, or all the organ damage that they
Oh,
do, because
yes.
they've putting on this visceral fat that no matter how much you work out, you're never going to get rid of it,
And
which is what happened to me.
so if you're listening this and this sounds like you, it's worth a conversation to see if hormone replacement therapy or what you can do, right? Because and
Yes,
now what is the typical I'm gonna fire questions at you.
you're good.
Is
You're
there a
good.
typical age of menopause? I got my period later, and then my
Yeah.
mom got hers later, but then she started real early at menopause. She went into menopause early,
You
but
can, if you go into medically induced menopause, that's if you
uh,
have a hysterectomy. So you
got
could
it.
be earlier, but you
Yeah.
could, in as late, or excuse me, as early as your late 30s, you could
Okay.
start to be
See.
symptomatic.
Yes. And then you could go for at 40s and then maybe some I guess it probably depends on the person,
It does.
right?
It depends on the person, the genetic makeup, but a
Yeah,
good, often mid-40s is a really
mid-40s.
good
Yep.
indicator. So I'm glad we're having this conversation.
You'll be 44 in December, so, yep, when we connected, I was like I've been telling my friends, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we gotta listen to that." Oh, they're all, like, sweating and, like no,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. But,
No, it's the truth.
we
Everybody's
all
sitting around like,
compare symptoms, and then I'm like,
sorry, I'm
"Ooh, I
late. I
have
was having
that.
a
Oh, do
hot
you have
flash.
this?" "Oh, no, I don't have that, but I have that." Oh, yeah. It's, like, literally like the menu of, "Oh, I haven't seen that one yet, but I'll look out for that."
Yes, it's so true.
You,
But
like,
the other
laugh
thing is,
together.
people have to understand, women in particular that are in this space, they have to understand it's a whole vibe. You can't just say, I'm going to throw some HRT at it. You have to, it as a whole lifestyle change. It comes down to
Oh,
walking, resistance training, different vitamins, community
yes.
and advocacy. Women that feel alone in this space, they have like a suicide rate of 26 more percent. So I mean, it's important for us to connect and have,
Yes.
because I know for me, my husband hears it, he understands it, he puts up with a
Yeah,
lot, but
yeah.
he doesn't walk in my shoes, so I still feel that level of
'Cause again,
disconnect. Yeah,
they'll never yeah.
exactly.
You can't
You just have
you have
that
to kinda be
level
a
of kind
woman.
of
Yeah.
disconnect. Yeah. And it's hard to say, "Oh, it's just menopause." And he's like, "Okay, crazy."
So what do we do about that? And I was like
Yes.
I
Yeah.
asked Ryan before, my husband, I said, "Hey, if you haven't I know you're a dude, but if you could ask any questions about menopause, what would you ask?" And he was, like, doing a stretch, and he looks at me and he's like, "Uh, I don't really know what to ask because" and I was like, "This is exactly the problem." No. And then he's
Yeah.
like, I guess how can I best support you?" And I was like, "Perfect."
Well
So
said, Ryan.
yeah, he's
Bravo.
like, whatever is not gonna get me in trouble." No. But, how
Such a
like
man thing. I love it.
I know, it's almost like they have to whatever symptoms you're having, they have to hold space for you to have those and
Ah,
to treat them,
yes.
right?
And I'm pretty sure my husband says at least 5 times a day, if I have to hear the word menopause one more time.
Oh, it's like Ryan with podcasts. He's like, he'll joke. He's like, "Oh, I have a podcast. I have a podcast." I'm like, "Shut up. I'm
There
in
with you.
menopause, so I'm cranky right now. Be quiet.
Yeah.
I'm
What are you gonna
sweating."
do about it?
Yeah.
Exactly. I know
I
as I'm
am
turning
also
red because
I
this room's
sweat.
hot.
I literally sweat all the time.
I do
Night
too.
sweats.
Ugh.
The night
Night
sweats.
sweats are the worst because you wake up and you're cold.
Drenched.
Yeah, and
Drenched.
you're cold because you're laying in sweat. Oh god. I have
I'm
a friend of mine said, "Don't buy a new mattress until this is over." Okay.
4 to 10 years. The other one, let's see, what have I heard? My friends, we have the hair loss,
Uh-huh.
sweating, oh god, joint pain.
Oh
I
yeah.
remember I had a out of nowhere really bad back pain and then it went away, but then it's just yeah, it's different. My
It's a whole
body
different.
temperature is very up and down.
Yes. Yes, and
Very.
sleep becomes so disrupted.
Mm.
You just, for me anyways, I went
Yeah.
through this whole phase where I just couldn't sleep, and that really made things worse for me, because it was, if you're not getting good quality sleep and you're just kind of unregulated. I mean, it just really just
It
sent
just
me on this
piles up.
roller
It's
coaster. There was a period where I mean, probably I would say around this time last year where I honestly was so disconnected and so depressed. It was the first time in my life I've ever experienced suicidal thoughts. And I
so
swear to
sorry.
God, had you known me before any of this, you would never even think that that would be a thing that came out of my mouth. But I just remember sitting there and people were laughing and joking. And I was just like, I felt nothing. I felt absolutely nothing. And it was all hormone related for me. For me.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that because I tell you, that has been a topic on more of my episodes than than, you know, than I wish it I'm glad it has come up because I've experienced those. Mine was related to a abusive situation, but I went through it during this time and I'm sure that didn't help. But thank you
I'm
for
sorry.
sharing because anyone that hears that that's ever had those thoughts, you don't have to have shame about that.
You don't.
It's
You don't.
okay, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And
And it's
and
hard to say
it's
that out
hard.
loud,
It's very
but
hard.
I
So
remember just sitting there looking at my husband and I said, I understand now why Robin Williams killed himself. Because you see this person with the smile and they fake it so well. And that was me. I was just faking it. Yeah. I mean, I just didn't genuinely have, I had nothing, just
yeah.
nothing. Yeah. It
And
was,
so and I'm so sorry you went through that, but
thank you.
I'm so glad that you've been able to come out of that and be here now, and trust me, I understand that I understand, and it's sort of a club that you don't like where you don't wanna say I've been there, but when you've been there, you wanna share it with people so they don't feel
Feel
shame if
alone.
they've ever been there.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you can actually be there and decide to keep going,
You
even though it's
can.
really hard.
That is that probably would and you could probably agree, that is the hardest conversation to have with yourself. I have to get out of this bed,
I
and I
have to do
have
this.
to shower, and I have to brush my hair, and that even that felt like pain. It just equated to, like, physical pain at that point, and there was no real reason. It was just the depression that came with just the
Totally.
insane fluctuation with my
Yeah,
hormones, and that
yeah.
was on HRT. Just hadn't
Okay,
found my right dosage
okay.
yet, so there is and I don't wanna lie to people, there is a trial and error that comes with that,
You
you know, you have to kind
You
of
gotta figure
adjust.
it out.
So it
Totally, with any medications, right, or any kind of so you said you went to your doctor, you would anyone they would just go have a conversation about hormone replacement therapy, and then you
yeah,
start trying to figure out what works.
right. So they
Okay.
started me on the lowest dose, which said did offer some relief, but it just never really kind of got me back to, like, this
Yeah.
an even place, and so then we had pushed it to, I started at, like, 0.25 and I ended up at the final was 1 millig or MCGs, and that's when I really spun out and that went into the depression and all the weird things because I had just
It's
gone
too
too
much.
far.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
So I backed back down to 0.75, changed after talking with my doctor, I was able to kind of change up
yeah.
how I administered it. So now the instructions typically say change it every third day or something like that, but I change mine every 72
Okay.
hours. And then I
Yep.
don't experience any plateaus or any declines in my estrogen, so that has helped me. I
Yes.
know that won't help everybody, but it's definitely a
It's an
conversation to have
option.
with your doctor. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You have to explore options based on we're all unique bodies, right? And all your body
Right.
chemistry and
Mhm.
whether and I'm sure whether you've now this might be a silly question, but I'm gonna ask it. Whether you've had kids or not,
Huh?
does that you're gonna go through menopause, but it
Right.
could there's so many factors in how you experience it and then which symptoms you actually experience.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And lifestyle is a big contributor too.
Yeah.
Estrogen is spiked if you're a drinker, so it will
Okay.
spike your estrogen, which is a really weird thing because it could take you to the place that I went to. If you starting out on HRT, maybe kind of step back on the drinking a little bit. I'm
Got
not
it.
saying you're an
But
alcoholic. I'm not saying that you
no,
have to quit,
just
but
be
just
aware
be
of that.
aware.
Yeah.
Be aware of the things that can start to, like, spin you out even more because that's ultimately what we're trying to avoid is the
Oh,
spin
yeah.
out.
Oh, yeah, and I will say, just being full disclosure, I'm a social drinker, and I have to be careful with the amounts because
The
you shouldn't be
hangovers.
hungover. You shouldn't be hungover anyway. My parents are gonna probably be like, "Why are you talking about drinking?" But, if you have 1 too many, which you can't have as many because it's just your body doesn't process it as well,
Even one.
even 1
Yeah.
And then you also can have that
Yo,
anxiety. So you gotta
yes.
really I mean, I love my martini and my mimosa, but I'm trying to be conscious of it because
I get it.
my body's changing.
Totally get it. And it's the weirdest thing too, because you don't realize things are going on inside, in your
No,
mind, we
I'm
control the
fine.
narrative. Yeah, we always control the narrative. Yes.
You're right, it's happening right now, even though I'm like, "I'm fine, I just sweat, that's it. Nothing else
Yeah.
going on."
Right.
No, actually a
I've heard
lot.
that so many times, so many women. Oh, no, I'm fine. I don't have this. I don't have that. Think about your heart. Think about your organs. What's going on inside?
Yeah, yeah. And do you typically start with your primary care, and then do you get hormone replacement therapy from a gynecologist or from your primary?
You can go to your gynecologist. Your
Yeah,
primary, they're less versed than probably the gynecologist, and they're going
okay.
to probably say, "Oh, you're just sad. Here's an antidepressant." Or, I just had a friend of mine go to the doctor last week, and she was, "Well, even though I'm 60, I think I still need some estrogen." And the doctor's like, "Well, I don't really believe in that, and I think you're okay." Yeah.
But
Well, you
there's
say that you believe in it and tell me I'm
yeah,
okay.
but there's research and I think I know,
Let's
okay,
talk
yeah.
science.
But then you kind of question yourself, and then you just end up doing nothing.
Yes, yes. So for
That's yeah.
me, I
Yeah.
started I started with I researched a specific to menopause doctor, and she's all
Okay,
online. And I think I mentioned her earlier. Her name is Giselle, but she's with
okay,
Wish Health. So,
okay.
and she's, like I said, she's all root cause. She definitely looks at all of those things, but there are other services out there that you can look at
Sure.
as well that you can get online. And it kind of takes the guesswork out of it too. It's sort of nice, oh, I'm calling you because I'm just going to talk to you about menopause. I don't want to talk to you about this or that. It's just
I'm
menopause.
yes.
And you feel like they know a little more.
Well, yes, and you are a menopause coach.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that you can complement going to a doctor. Tell me about what you do at I'm just jumping right in there because
No, you're good. You're good.
yeah.
When I go to the doctor, is that the question?
Like when you for your business, are you guys coaching women through menopause?
Yeah, we are. So
Which
I
is
do
so
more
great.
of the accountability aspect for me,
Okay. Okay.
because a lot of women just want the quick fix. And trust me, ladies, I did too. Believe me, there were
You
the
just
days
wanna
that I
like
laid in that bed and I had the
sure.
blankets over my head and I couldn't face the world for 2 weeks. I wanted the quick fix too, but it
Yeah.
doesn't come quick. I started with HRT and I
Okay.
started just kind of figuring out what the dosage was, what worked, what didn't work,
Okay.
all the freakouts in between. Let me just say, I forced myself to get up every morning, even if it was a 10-minute workout, and just moved my body through yoga, through
Huge.
just
Oh, yeah.
little videos online,
Something. You gotta move.
something, anything. And so as I started to kind of feel better, I started involving my menopause with me. And so now we do workouts in the morning at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Okay.
And we have other classes that we offer, classes on how to cook for hormone friendly,
I love it.
meditations. We've got a therapist coming online in October, and she'll be doing meditation and group sessions. I mean,
I
we're
love
fairly
it.
new to the scene, but we've built out
Yeah.
a pretty good infrastructure. It's just implementing all of the things. And we
Yeah.
definitely are, if you need someone at 2 a.m. because you're having a freak out, call us. That's how we are.
It's a community. You're building a community
It's a community, and
that
we want
can yeah.
women to be included. We want people to know that you're not alone in this. You're not crazy, and hormones suck.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you, like, it's being a woman, you would think by this time you kind of know how to be a woman. I deal with periods. I can
Yes,
whether if you've not have kids, doesn't matter. If you've had kids,
exactly.
you know how to deal you're being a woman, happens every month, and then this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, yeah,
But you actually don't know about this next whole phase.
right. I felt lied to
Nobody
personally.
tells us it changes.
Thought it was just going to be some hot flashes, and this was over. What the heck is
Literally, I
this?
thought if you would have asked me a couple of years ago, "What is menopause?" I would
Yeah,
say, "You don't have periods and you sweat a little bit, and that is it.
me too.
That's it.
Me too.
And then it sucks for a while, and then you're fine."
And then everything's fine. Yeah, me
So
too.
not there's 53 other symptoms
Or more, or
or
more. I
more.
mean, it's just wild what it does to your body.
What are some of the symptoms that people might be surprised by in those 50 so let's see, there's the common ones. And then it's really, I guess it could be, it depends how your body responds to lower estrogen, right?
It all depends on how your body is responding,
Yeah.
and your lifestyle. If you are
Mm,
really not into working out or any kind of walking, things build up in your system.
yes.
Soluble
Oh,
fiber, soluble fiber. Who knew
oh,
how important that would be in our lives? And a lot
really?
of women don't know the difference between fiber and soluble fiber. Soluble fiber, you need at least 25 grams a day. A day.
Really? What is the
Yes.
difference between fiber and soluble fiber?
Well, soluble fiber. I know. I have to probably get back to you on that one
Yeah, yeah,
because
that's okay.
off the top of my head.
No, no. It's just you need to make sure it's on the package.
Yeah, yeah. Well, soluble fiber definitely is like a Metamucil or like for me, like I use psyllium husk and I have that every day.
Okay.
And I add chai seeds to my,
Yeah.
you know,
Those
probiotic.
little ways to get it. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And eating more fruits and vegetables. The soluble fiber, what it does is it kind of attaches to any of the toxins and the things in your body, and it helps push those out of your body so there's not
Got it.
buildup in your system. So your liver's not working harder to process it. You're able to get some of this visceral fat off, which soluble fiber will help
Oh.
tremendously with visceral fat rather than all of these intense workouts and
Yeah.
crazy fad diets and things like that. Increase your dang fiber.
Yes. So diet, moving, and you were mentioning that you guys are gonna do meditation, that mental,
Yes.
emotional you need to nurture yourself
Yeah. Do.
mentally.
Self-care, I mean, I don't think people talk enough about self-care in the ways that they need to talk about it. Self-care is take care of you, love you. But I mean, it's genuinely stopping, acknowledging that feeling and thinking to yourself and processing it and however it feels good to you and working through it and doing that shadow work and
Oh,
processing how you got to that point and what are the things that you can do to heal you. And it feels selfish. It feels really selfish because we've spent our whole lives pleasing people, but our brain is legitimately science has backed this fact being
yeah.
rewired during this phase of our life. We are rewiring our brains. And
Yeah.
so even though it feels selfish, ladies, just take care of you. And if that means you have to sit on the edge of your bed for 15 minutes and the kids have to wait and somebody's not getting dinner or you're not leaving on time, then sit on the edge of your bed for 15 minutes because that's how you're going to get through that.
I
Not
like
anybody else. You have to get through that. And nobody's coming to save you but you.
mm, that is I think every woman that's listening to this it's funny, I looked at my stats the other day, and it's 85% women, and I'm like, "Sweet, perfect timing, menopause. Let's talk about it." And the 15% of you guys, if you are around a woman, listen up, because
Yes.
she's going through this. So
The
everybody
operative word
benefits.
is support, support,
Support.
support.
The 15% are gonna be to support. Um, yeah, it's just when you said sit on the edge of your bed, that really stuck with me because I think we've all had those moments where before you go out or you're looking in the bathroom mirror and you're just like whatever's going on, you have to go or you have to but do you have to go? Right. Maybe you need we're all like, no, but we have to go. But your mental health, maybe that's worth them being late today.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you can that's a great point. You don't have to
I
be the perfect mom and get them there 7, 5 out of like, if you need that, hey, sorry, it probably changed your day.
Yeah. It it probably changed your whole life. I
And
mean,
it'll
if you
change,
think
like,
about
how
it.
you show up for the kids and then how
Yeah.
it's a ripple effect.
Yes. Yeah. All
So
the way down. I think it's so important. I mean, that took me a while to get used to and to practice, and it takes practice because I've always been a pleaser. And oh, let me get this, or I'll fix this. And I'll tell you, my kids have struggled with this. They've struggled with the fact that I'm not there to Johnny on the spot to fix everything for them because I'd always taken over and just been, okay, I'll help you.
uh,
Okay, I'll fix that. But now I'm like, oh no, I'm taking care of me. And they're like, well, what are you doing? Why aren't you doing this for me? And I'm like, well,
y
because it's either that or I'm gonna lose my mind.
yeah, you're like, "Trust me, when I come back in an hour, I'm gonna be a lot happier." Like, it's actually but when you're going to go to therapy or go on a walk with your friends or go out with
Yeah.
your friend whatever it is. Like, it was instant the other night, it was 5 o'clock, and I went on a walk with my friend, and then I had a little twinge of mom guilt being like, "Oh, we haven't seen him today." And then I was like, "But you know what? I really need this walk, and
Yes.
I will
Good for
be
you.
such a better mom when I come back." And we had a great night, but if I before I'd be like, "Oh, I'm just not gonna go, I need to be there at 5 instead of 6." No,
Yep.
you don't. If
Yep.
if I'm not saying if somebody is there with them, don't let that mom guilt prevent you from going to take the walk where you talk with your friend,
1,000%.
right?
1,000%.
Because the mom girl will come in. It'll come in and be like, "Well, why do you have to walk right now? Should you
Mhm.
It's been all day. You haven't seen them." And I'm like, "Well, they're gonna have to wait one more hour because I need to
Yeah.
walk."
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Because you have to be the best version of you. You have to decompress those thoughts. You have to smell that fresh air. You have to get outside and reconnect with you before you can
Yeah.
show up for anybody else. And that
No.
is the hardest thing I think my family has struggled with is me doing things for me because they're like, "What the heck are you doing? That's not for me."
Yeah, and you're like, "You got it.
Sorry.
I showed you how to do it. You got it. I'm just gonna go, like,
All my
it's
kids are grown too. My baby just turned 18 in July.
okay. So, hey, he's the nest. Um, so there's what I'm hearing so far is that just to kind of remind people, perimenopause lasts 4 to 10 years.
Yes.
Menopause is that day where you're like, "Wow, it's been exactly 12 months without a period."
Yeah.
And
The
then
one day
after
after.
yeah, and then so you need to be aware of what's going on with yourself during all of those, and there's
Yes.
options to help.
Yes, there are. There's multiple options to help. And again, it's not going to be overnight. It's going to
No.
be a slow process. I mean, I'd say probably factor in a year of just really
Real
committing to the processes that you put in place for yourself, the
uh,
workouts, the supplements, the routine. Routine is key. Oh my God, it's
mm,
so key. Take your medications at the same time. Don't,
yeah,
look at the instructions. Can you take stuff with this one? Can you not take stuff? Can you eat with this? Can you not eat with this? Once you get
yes,
all of those things kind of dialed in, it's
yeah,
important to know that there will be the up and down. There will be the
yes,
frustration. Just don't throw in the towel. If I could give
yeah.
any advice, and you are the CEO of your body when you're talking to doctors. Do not let
Oh,
somebody tell you otherwise.
that's a great I'm never gonna forget that. Yeah, you need to advocate for yourself. And I think
Advocate.
the more you connect with my Menopalz, how are you supposed to advocate if you don't know what's going on? And then by connecting with other women, you're going in with this whole knowledge, right?
Right, right. And I'll tell you, even to this day, I'll go in with knowledge, and doctors are like, "I've never
Still
heard of that." And I'm like, "Well, then you're not the doctor for me."
well, yep, that's why I'm gonna head out now. Yeah, you're like
This also happened to be the one that told me my body would adjust.
yeah, you're like, "Yeah, I will also adjust my doctor, thank you." I love how you said it though, because it's almost like I'm at that point now where I'm accepting that, like, the sweats have been happening long enough. I just got some, like, supplements, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm in
I'm
that life
ready.
phase." But, like, it's sort of like, "Okay, I think I need to be more disciplined about movement." I think and it's almost like being like, "Okay, this is the life phase," and it's almost like saying, instead of fighting it, I'm here and I'm gonna nurture myself. When you're working out, you're nurturing yourself actually,
It's true
right?
story. True story.
It
And it reminds you to be grateful for your body for what your body can do. Instead of being so
yes.
ticked off all the time at the things that are wrong, I
It's
just change
how
that
healthy.
conversation in
Yeah.
your head. Yes. Thank
And
you,
then
body.
your body will probably respond. Your brain's like, "Oh, we get up and work out. This is what we do. We are
Yeah.
healthy," and all the affirmations, and we're not alone. We talk to our friends about this. It's
Yes.
okay. It's a whole
Yes.
program.
It's a whole program.
It's a
And
program.
if you set it up for yourself and you have to follow it. And I'm telling you, if you give yourself a year, and some people will see results a lot sooner.
Yeah.
For me, it took a year. Just gonna be honest.
Great
I mean,
investment though. Look at you now
yeah,
though.
hair came back.
Your hair looks amazing.
Had you seen it before?
So tell me, I'm going to put all of the links to everything in the show notes of
Okay.
how to follow you on Instagram
Thank
and your
you.
website. Is there anything you'd like to say to anyone who's listening who might need some coaching, who's looking for a community?
Yeah. I mean, menopause isn't the cliff that you fall off. It's a bridge you walk over. I mean, that's kind of
Ooh.
where I'm at with it. I almost didn't survive my perimenopause because no one connected those dots for me, but
Yeah,
I'm here to help you connect the dots. I want you to know that you're not alone and that if nobody else listens, I will.
that's amazing. I love it's a bridge. That is such a great way to think about it. Because
Thank you.
I feel like you get to this phase in your life and you're like, I finally like have like when you get that confidence or you've like had life experience, then your body starts to turn on you. You're like, no,
I know.
this could be the best time of life for women,
I know. I thought, oh my
right?
gosh, my kids are turning to 18. They're all grown. I'm going to be
Freedom!
me. I'm going to just do whatever. And then it
And
was like,
then,
"Ah!"
so I guarantee you someone listening is like having a moment where they're like, okay, I'm going to have that conversation. Even if you
Yeah.
just start the dialogue, you'll
Just
get there,
start the
right?
dialogue and let me know. Get involved with our program. Like, just get up and work
Yeah.
out with us in the morning. Well, if
The
the
cooking
time doesn't
class
work,
coming up.
yeah, come up September 7th. We're going to have a cooking class. I mean, and it's all live, it's all virtual. So you cook in your own kitchen. So you don't have to feel like you have to go and meet people and be anxious around them.
Oh
And
my
that I
gosh.
did that by design because I did the
You didn't
story in Florida. I didn't want to leave my friend's house because I couldn't be around people. And it wasn't nothing to do with people. It was my own nervous system.
Yes, the nervous system is powerful, man.
So powerful.
I
Holy moly.
I just learned that in the last year, and I'm like, what?
Oh, yeah. You get your nervous system back under control. You and your nervous system are going to have a good time.
Your
A
life
lot of things. I
changes.
use magnesium cream for that a lot. I'll put it on my chest and I put it on the bottom of my feet.
Okay.
And I found a place locally, actually, and I really love this place. It's all very homeopathic. And I
Yeah.
know people think, oh my gosh, homeopathic, whatever, but
Okay.
your skin is your biggest receptor. I mean, it's your biggest organ. So
You're right.
what you're putting on your skin is being absorbed into your system. It's going directly to your bloodstream. So you want to try to use the most natural things possible
Look at
to get those chemicals
everything.
out of your system. I mean, for me, that works
No,
really
you're
well.
right. You're right. I actually just got my skin checked, and he kept telling me about, I'm like, oh yeah, it's like organ this is an organ.
Yeah. And you don't think about it because
You
it's our
don't think
skin.
it's covering my organs. So you're like, no, it's an organ. It's an organ.
No, but it
Yeah.
really genuinely is the biggest one. And I mean, putting all these chemicals on it, I mean, think about all of the products that we use in a day. I mean, it's intense.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a
So
lot.
I try to use, and I didn't go out and just dump all my stuff, but I was one little product at a time I was able to replace.
That's a good way to think about it. It's one day at a time. You do something.
Yeah.
Let's check my lotions today. Then we'll check
Yeah.
this tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Let us help you walk over the bridge.
See, and that's where it is. You've been down this path. You coach people on this path. And I think the biggest thing that women, when we come together, it's life altering.
We're powerful.
You don't have to
and
suffer.
especially together. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to suffer.
You do not have to suffer.
Yeah.
And please let me know if you have questions because if I don't have the answers, which sometimes and a lot of times I don't, I will
It's
direct
okay.
you in the right place.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm going to come to that September 7th
Oh
cooking
my gosh,
class.
I love
I
that.
shared the story, and I'm going to
Thank
do it
you.
because I'm trying to learn how to cook anyway because I'm not very good. My
Hey,
husband did not marry me for cooking skills. I'm really bad. I'm awful.
It's okay.
It's
You're
okay.
cute, you're fun, all the things.
I talk a lot.
Yeah, me
So
too.
he's all quiet. He's quiet and calm. My husband. People are like, yeah, that makes sense. We would die if we were both the same. So
Me too. My husband's always like, what are you doing now? I'm like, oh, don't worry about it.
oh yeah, I was like, I have to go. I'm doing a podcast about menopause. He's like, cool. Like, are you gonna be in a good mood or? I'm just kidding.
So
I'm like,
true.
I don't know, but I'm burning up. It's so
I'll
funny.
keep you posted.
I'm literally so
Me
hot.
too. I'm
Goes
so
up
hot in this room.
and then it comes down and then I'm freezing and then
Yeah.
I hear a sad song and then I cry and then
Oh
I'm
my gosh.
laughing.
On a final note, I do have to tell you this last story, which
Yes.
is just terrible.
Wrap it up.
So as I was super sick and I, was just figured out I had celiac and I was coming out of it and I was trying to do normal things and I was just still this big around. I'm standing in my front yard, watering my lawn, and my pants fell off just standing there, right there in the front yard in front of my entire neighborhood. I was like,
You just fell down.
just fell. I ran in that house so fast. It was the
You got-
fastest I've moved in years.
Wow. So
So if you think that you're going through it, just call me, girls.
you've been there. There's no
Yes, I've
shame
been
in this
there.
game.
There is
You
no
know?
shame in this game, and
No.
we're going to get through this together.
Let's do it. And you know what? Humor has been a huge tool. I can't tell you how many reels and memes we send each other about my friends and I about menopause. I'm sweating. We're like, yeah, me too. It's pretty funny. It's funny.
Fans just blowing at me, tornado winds. I'm like, feels great.
Oh yeah. It's so funny. But Raquel, I don't even know how to stop talking because does not feel like the first time we've met. It feels
It
like
doesn't. It doesn't.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. So please, everybody, check out the show notes, especially if
Yes.
you're a woman and if you're a man who is with a woman that might be in perimenopause and you
Yes.
want to figure out what is going on. Raquel can help the men as well through that. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
having
I really
like
do appreciate you having me.
I was gonna say for having me and for having me have you on the show. Yes.
Well, you're the one with the
And
podcast, so I have the menopause.
hey, thank you for having menopause that I can also learn from. I'm in peri right now,
Yes, yes.
officially. It's
I'm still in
official.
Perry myself, so don't worry.
Okay. All
Yes.
right.
It's
Cool.
okay. I don't wanna be totally over the hump yet for some reason. I'm not ready to let go.
Hey, who knows? It could be a year or 5 more or 7. I don't know. We'll
Anybody's
figure it out.
guess. Yeah.
Yep.
Alright.
I
Thank you
can't
so
wait.
much.
Yes, I can't wait to post this and we will connect soon.
Alright.
All
Take
right.
care.
Take care.